The UFC has a major lightweight problem, and there's 3 different paths they can go down to resolve it. And the first path they can go down is based off of the rankings. And if they went down that path, there's only one contender for Ilia Topuria. And I'm gonna try to spell his name without even looking. Huh? Oh, I already messed it up. I just realized. Oh my god, I got one letter right. We're gonna leave it. We're gonna leave it. Anyways, so it doesn't require a ton of IQ to understand this. Arman Tsarukyan, he's the #1 contender in the lightweight division, and he rightfully deserves the next title shot. And there's a couple reasons to support this. First of all, he poses, in my opinion, and also Khabib's opinion, he just came out with this, he poses the greatest threat to Ilia Topuria in the lightweight division. Ilia Topuria, you could say he's had somewhat favorable matchups in his reign of the title and also acquiring the title. None of those guys, Alexander Volkanovski, Charles Oliveira, Max Holloway, none of those guys are heavy grapplers. They're all predominantly strikers. And against Ilia Topuria, that's his bread and butter. He's gonna KO you all day. But with Arman Tsarukyan, he not only has striking, this guy can also throw axe kicks. I'm gonna try to throw an axe kick right now. That's literally how tight my hamstrings are, in case you guys were curious. But on top of the axe kicks, he also has wrestling. He also has nasty ground and pound, featuring some nasty elbows on the ground. Who did he do that to? Charles Oliveira. He busted Charles Oliveira up on the ground. Mix all of that together, he's got a pretty damn good MMA arsenal. And with that pretty damn good MMA arsenal, he gave he gave Islam Makhachev one of his toughest fights in his UFC career on his UFC debut on short notice. However, there's always a big but that I cannot lie in this discussion, because the big but with Arman Tsarukyan getting the next title shot is that he already got it, but he never actually entered the ring to attempt it because he had to pull out of the fight. And apparently the reason was because he sustained a back injury while cutting weight on a stationary bike. But also it was speculated that apparently he wasn't going to make weight, and he kind of made that up as an excuse so he doesn't look as bad. Now obviously, if you pull out the day before a main event pay-per-view slot for a title, you're on the big no-no list and far off of Dana White privilege, which we'll get into the second fighter who has major Dana White privilege. This guy right there, and basically really is going to prevent him from getting another title shot. But also the good thing with Arman Tsarukyan is that he showed he can make that championship weight when he weighed in as the backup fighter for Ilia Topuria against Charles Oliveira on International Fight Week just a few months ago. Crazy that was just already like a couple months ago. Enjoy your life, guys. Summer's almost over. That's nuts. And the second reason as to why Arman might not get this title shot next is because of his fighting style. So he's predominantly a grappler, and he may not have, to some fans, especially if you weren't a fan of Hamza Chimaev's fight, you will not probably buy his pay-per-views, or you will not, invite the guys over to watch any of Arman Tsarukyan's fights, because he kind of puts on more grappling heavy fights, which, that's the name of the game. It's MMA. Not everyone's going to be Alex Pereira, Ilia Topuria sleeping everyone in the first round. That's just not how it goes. So because of that, there's less fan interest with Arman Tsarukyan getting the next title shot, because there won't be as many pay-per-view buys and there won't be as much money generated for the UFC. So pretty much Arman Tsarukyan's path reminds me of a couple fighters. Merab Dvalishvili, heavy grappling fighting style, a wild personality, but his fights may not be as fan-friendly, to put it politely. Who else was there? What's his name? Oh, I can't remember his name actually, never mind. So basically with those two fighters, if you don't put on really entertaining fights, but you're still winning, you're probably gonna have to win at least 2 to 3 times more to actually earn the title shot compared to a fan-friendly fighter like this guy right here. Because this guy right here is the second path that UFC can go down if they wanna give Ilia Topuria a fight that earns them the most money possible. So that right there is the second path they can go down for the UFC. Money, baby. Cha-ching, cha-ching. And that's what gives Dana White the biggest load out of them all. And there's only one fighter that can give the UFC the most money against Ilia Topuria. And it's not Islam Makhachev. It's this guy. I don't know if he has 2 T's in his last name, but it's Paddy the Baddy Pimblett. Guys, Just come here with me for a second. Close your eyes and imagine this. Ilia Topuria, Paddy the Baddy Pimblett at the Bernabeu in front of 84,000 fans for the undisputed lightweight championship of the world. If there's two fighters that are going to bring a UFC event back to a stadium and generate the most money, the most pay-per-view buys that we will see of the year, it's Paddy Pimblett against Ilia Topuria. And I don't think it's close. And there's a couple reasons for that. So historically, it's pretty obvious. The most pay-per-view buys in the UFC's history has come from fights with fighters that have had bad blood. Conor McGregor, Khabib Nurmagomedov, John Jones, Daniel Cormier. Conor McGregor against pretty much anyone that he actually won against when he was talking shit. Ilia Topuria, Paddy Pimblett have bad blood and have had it for years now. And they've had a lot of exchanges, two standouts specifically that the UFC could use as marketing material to even further push this fight to the casual fan. Now, the only negative, and it's a huge negative with Paddy Pimblett that, you know, I really don't think this will happen anytime soon, is because he doesn't deserve the title shot, like literally at all. Paddy the Baddy Pimblett has probably the most Dana White privilege that we have seen in recent memory, more than Michael Chandler back in the day. And on top of that, his best wins are against, like, I think he was at least 38, maybe 39-year-old roadkill version of Tony Ferguson, who's fighting Salt Poppy this weekend, and also a 38-year-old version of Michael Chandler, who has a UFC record of 2 wins and 5 losses out of 7 UFC fights. But with saying that, I will give Paddy credit because every fight he comes into, he looks exceptionally better. And he is only 1-2 wins away from at least getting the next UFC title shot or even strapping UFC gold around his waist. And the exact same thing could be said for the fighter who falls under the third path for Ilia Topuria that the UFC could choose. And that third path is this: respect. Respect. Where's that from? Respect. Oh, it was from, I just watched The Expendables 2, and it was Jean-Claude Van Damme talking about respect before he killed Thor's brother. Not a bad movie. Pretty bad, but whatever. Pretty much, if the UFC doesn't give the fighter that falls under this category the next title shot, he has publicly said that he is going to retire. And that fighter, who is top 2 my favorite fighter of all time, shame on you if it's not the same for your list, it's this guy. Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje, baby. Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje. Now, if there's anyone in the entire UFC roster that deserves to skip the line over anyone in any division at any point in time, it's Justin Gaethje. And I don't even understand how you could argue this. Justin Gaethje. This is only if you're actually new to the sport and you haven't watched Justin Gaethje's entire UFC career, which is like, I feel bad for you. Justin Gaethje is by far the most entertaining fighter that the UFC has ever signed. His record for performance bonuses and the short amount of fights that he had to start his UFC career will never be broken. This guy's made more money in bonuses than he probably has in his purse, which is just like, it's not, you can't even comprehend it with the human brain, especially mine, because there's nothing in there. The thing with Justin Gaethje, unlike Arman Tsarukyan, is that he puts on fights that you call your boys over to cancel their plans with their girlfriends and to put your ass on your couch with all the boys with Bud Lights or whatever you drink in hand to watch Justin Gaethje fight, and you will not miss it. You're canceling your plans. If someone calls you up to invite you somewhere, hey, we're going to the bar. Hey, it's my mom's birthday. Hey, it's my sister's wedding. It does, see, I'm freaking out. It doesn't matter because Justin Gaethje's fighting. I'm busy. I'm busy. I'm busy. Don't even talk to me. Like, I'm going to tell you guys something that I've never told anyone, only my bestest friend in the whole world. So I watched his fight, his first fight against Rafael Fiziev, after a funeral at a wake. Because I didn't want to miss it. So that's why I have a love-hate relationship with the Saudi Arabia cards, because if there's some unfortunate shit going on like that, like, I have to watch it no matter what. I got the green light So it was fine, but still, like, that's so serious. I take Justin Gaethje's fights. I don't know. What's the guys? Do me a favor. Let's take a break really quickly and just comment right now the craziest spot you've ever watched or streamed the UFC fights. Tell me where, what fight, and why. That's all I want to know. Comment it right now. Does it top? If it tops watching it at a funeral wake party, fuck, dude, let's hang out. So that was the first reason why he deserves the title shot, to skip the line. And the second reason is because Justin Gaethje is a company man, and he did the UFC a huge favor when they couldn't even do their own jobs. For UFC 300, when he took a fight that had absolutely no benefit to him other than some dollar bills, y'all, against Max Holloway for his BMF title. Why did he didn't have to take that fight? It was the UFC's fault that they weren't able to stack that card as much as they hyped it, because their biggest superstars like John Jones, Conor McGregor weren't able to fight on it. Thank God for Alex Pereira at the time. Oh my God. And poor Justin Gaethje, he took the fight and he got absolutely brutalized and slept in the most incredible knockout in UFC history. God damn, when he was about to get a title shot, he deserved the title shot. That sucks. And with that topic, it's also really important to note that Dustin Poirier got his third title shot after a win against Benoit Saint Denis, who was ranked number 12th at the time. So I think it's well deserved that Justin Gaethje beat a short notice replacement in Rafael Fiziev when he was supposed to fight Dan Hooker, which fans give him shit for. They say he doesn't deserve it because he beat Rafael Fiziev twice. It's not his fault Dan Hooker pulled out of their fight. So I'm pissed. But the only thing is that this is a tough sell, because Arman Tsarukyan, he's clearly the number one contender in this division. And also, a lot of fans think this is going to be a cakewalk for Ilia Topuria, because it's another striker, it's another favorable matchup, but also you're going to see striking compared to wrestling, so why would you hate it? Justin Gaethje against Ilia Topuria? Feed my future kids that for breakfast every day of the week. Are you kidding me? Please subscribe. I desperately need the attention and love that my girlfriend Lax giving me. Love you all. Peace. I seriously love you guys. You're the best. If you were watching right now, kiss your face.